he is a good person that's just made a bad decision at the end of the day.
All she does is defend this guy. And all Sincere is now saying is, well, actually, everything with Amora was a lie.
Not being in depth with what I was truly meaning.
So, as we all know, one thing with this past Love Island USA season that we saw a lot of was this agenda against the OG girls, trying to paint them as a certain way, bully accusations at many points, like they didn't fuck with some of the other girls, even though as the season went on and on, we saw most of that to be untrue. But one thing that happened with a lot of the girls that left the show, and it's really not anything new. It has happened in past seasons, but they leave the show, they have all these things to throw shade at with the girls, but then they act like the guys' shit don't stink. Even though we saw Sol get pied by the guys, it was the guys that did all of that pieing to her. But yet she got out of the house, didn't have anything bad to say about the guys. Amora is another one that has gotten out of the house and done nothing but have praise for the guys. And that is going to be our main subject today, because I first want to listen to what Amora had to say about Sincere. Because the thing about this agenda against the OG girls is we saw a lot of the guys be problematic with our own eyes, heard it with our own ears. Like, we saw Sincere be a two-timing asshole the entire season. But when Amora first got out of the game, she did have nothing but good things to say about Sincere.
I think that he is a great person. I truly do. I don't regret my time with him. I don't regret meeting him at all. Honestly, our conversations were very high level and intellectual, and I really liked that about him.
I mean, first of all, I just can't buy that the conversations with Sincere are high in intellectuality, because we see Sincere always have these conversations trying his best to be deep. It's fake deep. Everything with him having to be an analogy, that shit gets old. But clearly maybe works on women, because they do get out of this house, they do praise him. Clearly he's a very charming man.
I was able to kind of see the cogs turning in his brain as he spoke.
What Amora saw in his brain, the wheels spinning or turning, was how he's going to love bomb, thinking all of these ideas of how to love bomb, because that is all we saw Sincere do the entire season.
And it was, I loved it. I loved it, honestly. We had really great conversations. I don't regret meeting him at all. I do still think of him highly. I think he's a good person that just has not gone about things the right way.
Now, I'm not saying Amora's wrong here, that Sincere is not a good person, and she says that he's a good person that has gone about things the wrong way. Now, I played this audio clip because since this was weeks ago that Amora was out of the game, these past few days, Amora is still out there praising Sincere. But she gets flack from the fandom because we also saw during movie night that she said that she would never put herself in Melanie's shoes and never, do what Melanie is doing with Sincere. And yet she came into the show having already watched Sincere and how Sincere did both Melanie and Sol, and yet still fell for Sincere too. Well, this was her excuse for that.
Yeah, people are saying like, oh, you saw how Sincere acted and you still chose him at the end of the day. Of course I would not want to put myself in that same situation. Once I got in costume more and he did pull me, I was like, okay, let me give this a shot, Of course I would want to put myself in the same situation, so a lot of our conversations were, saying, hey, how can we correct this behavior for, going forward? Do you understand like how this was wrong?
First of all, I don't believe Amora here. Sorry, I don't. Even when she's telling the story, I don't feel like she's telling the truth. You can see her eyes, she's looking to the side, which is usually the sign of lying. I don't believe that most of her conversations with Sincere in Casa was her trying to fix his behavior with Melanie. That doesn't make any sense. But that's what she's saying. I don't buy it.
And getting to know me as a person, he, accepted that that's not what I wanted. But I can't say that he is a good person that's just made a bad decision at the end of the day and just how he's gone about things. But I have no issue with him.
Anyway, again, this is just another example of Amora defending Sincere. That's what I feel like Amora has done since leaving the show. And not just Sincere, most of the guys, but I'm not going to get into that today because the main subject today is her going so hard to always defend Sincere and then still answering questions about what she meant with the whole Melanie thing and how she wouldn't be in Melanie's shoes.
When I had conversations with Melanie, she's a very sweet girl. She has a great personality. And when I said, I would never be in her shoes, that mostly was like, I wouldn't let someone take me out of my character the way that she was with her situation. I wouldn't allow someone to have that much control over my emotions, especially like just being seen like on a national level or international level,
And I believe Amora here that she wouldn't want to be in those shoes of Melanie, letting someone always have her in a low emotional state like Sincere did have Melanie. But the thing with Amora here is that I feel like, yeah, she's not in the same spot as Melanie. She's not potentially going to become Sincere's girlfriend and maybe still get played by Sincere. And yet, I don't even know how close she and Sincere are. I don't think they're close at all. And yet, Amora is going everywhere still. Weeks after being out of the show, defending Sincere, only for Sincere to go on a podcast and basically say everything he said about Amora just wasn't really true. It was just lip service. And so I feel like Sincere's still embarrassing Amora because all she does is defend this guy. And all Sincere is now saying is, well, actually everything with Amora was a lie.
You told Amora that if you guys were to have some more alone time together in Casa, you would have possibly picked her.
Yeah, I mean, just as far as where my head was at, I think I was also just in a place of emotional immaturity as well there. Just, not being in depth with what I was truly meaning. If I was able to go back now and just honestly have that foresight of what I was saying in that moment, I would have, just bit the bullet there and just have been like, hey, I appreciate you for being a part of the experience. Thank you so much for being like a good friend. And that was really it, because at the end of the day, like, it was going to be Melanie.
As we know, and as Sincere is basically admitting here, is he gave nothing but lip service to women this season. And that is still why, to me, I question, like, how could Melanie ever know that Sincere is telling her the damn truth? Because when he's on camera doing these things, that's already bad enough. In the real world, there's not going to be cameras following him all the time, and yet now Melanie's supposed to have trust for him. But then I just keep questioning why these girls get off the show to defend this man when all he has done is lie and give a lip service the entire time. Love bomb. He must be a very charming individual. That has to be the explanation. But I also do think this is just another example of how male-centered this season was, or men and women tried to make this season be. Somebody was talking about this as well when it came to Bea, Sol, and Amora having a meetup and talking about the reunion. Sol's been saying the reunion's going to be hot since she got out of the house. But again, just another person that has only had shade to throw at the women, never the men who we've seen with our own eyes not be shit.
Bea, Sol, and Amora have all linked up, and they're apparently really excited for the reunion so they can say how much they hate Melanie because Sincere did not choose them. Over and over and over again, it is Sincere who did not choose these women, but they are praising Sincere but trying to talk bad about Melanie.
It's a very weird thing, because that is what has happened a lot since these women left the show. Nothing bad to say about Sincere. Most of the time, nothing bad to say about most of the guys. Even though we saw that the men, like I said, pied Sol. The men voted Sol out. And yet Sol's in the comments here saying, no one gives a fuck about that man. It's a show. Y'all way too invested. Although they're still the ones talking about going to the reunion. Excited for the reunion. Somebody in the comments called Sol out saying, so why do you make it a point to bash the women and not the men? And that has been my question the entire time. It's why I called Sol fake the entire time she was on the show when she got off said 3 different things that didn't actually mesh with each other. So it sounded like she was lying about her experience on the show, especially if she had to watch the episodes first before she felt like she was being bullied. People get off the show, they see what the audience is saying, they try to go with what the audience is saying. Unfortunately, that happens a lot. Sol fell victim to that, just like Andrea from season 6 did when she got out the show, which we're going to talk about tomorrow with my roundup, that Andrea is still upset with the moment from her season 2 damn years ago. But as for Amora and Sincere, we'll see if Amora still gets online to praise Sincere when Sincere has now rejected Amora publicly for the 3rd time. Basically, it's saying everything I told Amora was kind of lip service. I wish I wouldn't have done that. And yet Amora is saying that she and Sincere have these conversations about how to fix how he was treating women, allegedly. And yet she then got treated the exact same way by Sincere with the fake ass lying love bombing. It's a mess,